you circle back in your mind to that very first time we met, talk to me a little bit about your memory of that and how it went.
I think you were like a breath of fresh air, really. You actually wanted to know all about my background, and you had a lot of empathy with where I was at that time, and you allowed me the time and space to explain how I was feeling.
So massively different experience then. That's huge. Yeah. Like a breath of fresh air. Tell me a bit more about what that means.
I think it was just you actually acknowledged that I do need help with certain areas, and you were committed to that right from the beginning.
Thank you for sharing that with me. It's like completely different style. Amazing. That's my recollection as well. It feels like we just gelled very quickly and easily together.
Yes, definitely. I think I knew that I could trust you because you were just really patient as well.
So what were your first impressions of me then? If you can share a bit more.
My first impressions was I thought, actually, this person's really good at her job. I thought it's more than a job. She genuinely cares as well. And you seem to have so much knowledge and background about mental health issues, but that kind of came through with your kindness and compassion as well.
What a gift you've given me there. Hearing you say that is how you experience me, is how I would always want to come across.
I could just see that you never judged me either. I knew it was safe to say anything.
That's so important, isn't it, when you start to work with someone, that you have that safe space. It feels safe. It feels like nobody's judging. It's open. It's empathetic. You've been listened to as well.
Often it's difficult to get listened to in everyday life because there's always stuff going on, whereas our time was always quite calm and peaceful.
And how would you describe our work together?
We have these regular meetings. I know they've been sometimes online, whichever suits me, depending on what my current situation is. And then we usually do meditation, which is always really nice. If I've had a bad day, that just makes me feel calmer. And then we explore whatever's going on during the sessions.
Amazing. So we've been really flexible then in how we've worked together.
Yeah.
And we've added this ending with meditation to support you. And then the sessions focus on you and what you need most. Do you want to say a bit more about how you've experienced our work together?
I think it's probably really helped me to be kinder to myself. Being at uni and things, it can be really stressful sometimes, but I've always come away from our sessions thinking, actually, I don't need to beat myself up about that. And self-care is the most important thing. And you've helped me to realise that as well and make sure I plan in my self-care, because that's something I hadn't really ever done before our sessions.
So help me understand, what's something you hadn't done before our sessions?
Even just things like making sure I take enough time out from things and making sure I make time in the day to get my fresh air as well, because that's really important to me. And sometimes I would, even when I would get my fresh air, I'd feel really guilty. I think, oh, I should be working on an assignment here, whereas you've made me realise that no, self-care is important for our health and well-being, and that always comes above anything.
Yeah, totally. It's a bit like when we talk about when we look after ourselves first, that supports everything, all the other areas of our life, doesn't it? If you circle your mind back to before you and I met, what was going on and how were you? And then the second question I want to ask you is, who are you as a result of us working together?
Yeah, because I did the first 2 years of my degree at a college, I was then going on to do the third year as a top-up year at university. So that was quite a big change for me. I didn't really have anyone to talk to about, my worries and anxieties about that. And especially with the pandemic as well, I'd missed we all did, didn't we, as students? We missed a lot of teaching time and things. And so going to university for the third year, it seemed like even more of a jump than what it would have been without the pandemic. And I think at that time I was really just stressed, and I felt like I hated being at uni. It was too much of a change for me. And also I had a long-standing history of an eating disorder, so that kind of made some of those habits come back, and I was going through like a mini relapse. But then just talking to you and exploring what was going on. Even just talking about things makes you feel better without even finding a resolution.
Thank you for painting that picture, because there was a lot going on then, wasn't there? There was this massive transition.
Yeah.
There was the isolation with the pandemic as well, the massive life transition, the re-triggering other challenges from the past, and feeling alone, and it can also maybe this self-doubt and questioning.
Yeah, definitely. And there was a lot of self-doubt, but you've helped me to go back and look at what I'd achieved, and that kind of helped me to feel better about myself and more confident.
How would you describe where you're at now because of our work together?
I've changed how I approach everything now. I deal with stress a lot better, and I'm able to rationalize things a lot more and actually think, well, that's not important at this time. And there's always an answer to something if you're stuck with something as well. It doesn't need to turn into this great big disaster. Sort of remaining calm and working things out, which I try and do that now, not feel guilty. If I can't get something done that's perfect, then it's okay for it not to be perfect.
Wow. So these are massive things then. It's letting go of perfectionism, remaining calmer in situations that would have previously stressed you out, managing stress better. And there's something here about challenging that self-doubt and worry, and almost building a different mindset. Would you agree when you hear those?
Yeah, definitely. It's always turning negatives into positives, which we've done quite a lot of that as well, where you write things down and then put something positive by it.
Yeah, incredible. So how do you think our work's impacted on your confidence levels?
I'm a lot more confident now, definitely, because I don't let things really stress me out. So even if something is stressing me out, sometimes I will just put it to one side and then deal with it when I feel ready to deal with it, and know that that's okay to do as well.
So recapping, you said that it's definitely improved your confidence levels working together. And then I'm also hearing there's something about you've got different tools to support that confidence.
Yes, definitely. And it's about choosing the right one at the right time as well.
The right tool at the right time. So by the sounds of that, you've got a toolkit to choose from.
Sometimes that might just be going out for a walk, having 10 minutes, taking a break. It's making sure every day you plan in some relaxation time. So that will be the meditation or having a bath. Lots of just different things, or even just making the effort to meet up with a friend for coffee and know that that's okay.
Definitely doing things differently, which is amazing. So if we put a scale on it, so 10 is confident, not confident. Where were you before we met, and where are you as a result of meeting?
I think probably before I was probably on about 2, and I think now I'm probably on 9 actually.
Amazing. Yeah. So what does 9 mean for you then? Tell me about that number 9 and what that means for you.
Able to live at peace every day and not be bogged down by stress, and not spend all day worrying about something either. That's a huge thing for me. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. I remember that when we first met, there was a lot of rumination, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, overthinking and overwhelm. So hearing you say your confidence is at 9 and you don't do all these things anymore, you're like at peace with yourself and with your life, that's huge. What's it like actually just reflecting on that number shift for you?
It's really nice actually, because you don't often think of it on a scale, so it does help you to realize the shift and just how much things have improved.
Amazing. So what would you say are the most tangible changes or results or your biggest wins from our work together?
I think it's probably just being able to access help that's available as well and not feel guilty. So if you need an extension on an assignment, it's knowing that it's perfectly okay to ask for that. It just makes you, again, I've been a lot more kinder to myself and not felt guilty for saying when I can't do something or when I need extra time with something.
Yes. Accessing the help available to you. Amazing. And has there been any other wins or results or shifts that you're able to recognize?
I used to be really obsessive over assignments and think I need to spend all day, every day on this, whereas I find I'm more productive when I take regular breaks, and it's all about that work-life balance.
Yeah, getting that work-life balance. Amazing. Getting more balance in your life.
Yeah.
And when you have more balance in your life, what's the outcome for you? Like, how do you feel?
You feel a lot happier and a lot calmer because you actually feel you're getting a little bit of enjoyment out of life as well. It's not all stress and work.
Happier, calmer, more joy. Incredible. So how would you describe our work?
Helpful. Well, it's just been really helpful, like I said, in helping me to find different ways of dealing with things or different ways of thinking about things and think more positively.
See you next word.
Productive, because I've got something out of every session. I've never come away from a session thinking, oh, that was a waste of time. We've done lots of little exercises that have helped me to think more positively.
Yeah, productive. And we've covered so much, haven't we? Yeah, so much. Amazing. And then your next word?
Calm. Because I think just all of our sessions have been really calm. There's been no stress involved. And again, like the meditation has helped with that, and just having that safe space.
So calm, that calm energy sounds really important to have.
Yes.
And then your next word?
Relaxing, because it's good just to take that time out, isn't it, from everything else that's going on in the day, just to have that one session where you can just talk about things freely.
Yeah, it's something for you, isn't it, as well? It's something to develop you and work on you and help you grow, which is so important.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. And then your final word?
Accepting, because it's helped me to accept where I'm at that time, and know that it's okay to feel like that there's always a reason behind why we feel a certain way.
Your story and what you've survived and what you've been through and the amount you've changed, that's huge. It sounds, not only has it been an accepting space, but it's helped you find acceptance.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for gifting it and helping me understand how it's impacted you. So I know you mentioned a few times like you've worked with other people in the past and it wasn't that helpful. How do you think my style was different?
I think it's just because you get to know people, you're quite open about that and accepting that if somebody doesn't want to share something, that's fine. And you've been more engaging all the time as well, making sure that the appointments are scheduled in and everything, and that's been helpful as well.
So having that consistency was important then. Somebody who gets it, somebody who's open, somebody who's supportive to you. So what would you say to somebody else who's seen me online, maybe they're on my social media, maybe they've seen my video on YouTube and they're thinking, ooh, like I might want to work with Sarah. What would you say to somebody who is considering working with me?
I'd say I definitely recommend you, because I'd just say that you can trust her with everything, and I'd say that you'd never judge anybody either, and you'll always help people to try and find an answer which is right for them.
Thank you. Would you say any other words of encouragement?
I just say that you're really kind and caring. I can imagine that you probably think about everybody outside of your sessions as well. That must be quite challenging for you, but then you never show if you're stressed or anything like that during our sessions. You're always very focused on me as a person.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So there's that like level of care, level of support, level of calmness, level of focus and dedication on you and what you need most. Incredible. And I am so pleased that that comes across. I'm so pleased that you can feel that depth of care, because as you mentioned before in our conversation, this is more than a job to me.
Yeah. And that really comes through. I can see that.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything else that's on your heart or in your mind on this topic that you want to say?
I think I'd probably be disappointed if I had somebody else now. It would take time to build up that trust with somebody else. You know, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, but I only see your strengths.
Thank you so much. I just want to say I thoroughly enjoy working together. I think we've got this lovely connection and the sessions flow really well and the work we've done is really profound. So thank you for trusting me and being open with me and being honest with me and allowing us to collaborate, because without your willingness to be so open and do this work, we couldn't have made the changes that you've described to me today. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.